Right. Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you to our annual client conference. I'm glad that you can join. The purpose of this call is to give you a general overview about what is going on with us as a company. There are some new exciting innovations that we implemented I would like to share with you. We would like to give you an uh, update on the markets that we serve. There's some updates to the potential upcoming legislation, and I would like to let you know what happened to the moratoria. And in the end, if you have any overarching questions about anything that is pertinent to all of us, there will be a room to ask them. So let me share my screen and we can get into it. Okay. Can somebody give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Okay, Adrian, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Here is the agenda we're going to go through today. So first of all, I would like to give you an update on what we have been up to as LongStreet Property Management. I want to first go through our values because that is the foundation of the business. That's how we are running it. That's how we are building it. And that is super important for me. I believe it's important for you as well. I will give you an update on the team. We have a couple new great team members. I will introduce them to you. There are some innovations we implemented. I'll show you our success stories and goals for going forward. Then we're going to talk about the situation in the market. What are the rents? What are the rent increases? What are the trends that we have seen in the marketplace? We'll touch base on the legislation, moratoria, government assistance programs, and then in the end, we're going to have the Q&A session. So let's move on. So a little bit of history. As a lot of you know, the company was started in 1995 by my father-in-law, and I bought it from him in 2020. We are operating in Corvallis, Albany, Philomath, Monmouth area. That's where one of the markets are that we serve, the other Portland Metro. And we specialize in managing single-family and small multi-family properties, up to 40 units. Long story short, those are the properties where we don't need to have an on-site manager. So our values, that's where I would like to start with. Personal responsibility is the first one. It is important to be responsible for everything that we do. So if we make a mistake, we're going to work to make it right. Doing the right thing. I want all my employees to be able to get up in the morning and look themselves in the eye and think of themselves highly. I don't ever want to overcharge when we charge for security deposits. When we buy a supply in Home Depot and we return it, you will get the refund. Efficiency, that's what we thrive for. We don't want to waste. We want to be as efficient as possible. Be fair to ourselves, to you, to other people. But at the same time, it goes the other way. We are not gonna be messed around if the tenants, for example, are not playing it straight with us. Good judgment. I have a maintenance example for this. When we choose, for example, a new faucet for your bathroom, we're not gonna pick the golden faucet that's gonna cost $20,000, but we are also not gonna choose the cheap plastic faucet that's gonna break in a week. So we're gonna choose a good quality at a good price. Politeness and respect, that's how we treat people. And taking care of yourself and your family before anything else. The reason is simple. Our work is not gonna be good unless we are okay. And so the overarching value is integrity. We want to act with integrity all the time. Another value, honest feedback, sometimes referred to as brutally honest feedback in our company. If something is wrong, we got to talk about it so we can make it right. Grit and drive, the job is not done until it's done. Clear and specific communication. I've been pushing an idea of sending pictures as much as possible, because a picture is like 1,000 words. It's very easy to communicate. If we have a picture of a damage that happened due to a plumbing issue, I want to see that, because then I want to be able to send it to you. That way the message flows clearly and quickly. Proactivity, we want to be proactive. For example, with inspections, we want to find issues sooner while they're still small, before they become emergencies. We are ready to respond and be flexible about that. And it is our goal to explain and educate. There's a lot of things happening in the market, for example, in terms of the laws, moratoria, that are not super straightforward. So it is our goal to explain them and educate. So that overall value for me is care. So we want to show that we care about you, we care about your property, we care about our tenants, and that's how we do that. The last overarching value, so do it right the first time. Super important. That's connected, for example, with maintenance. I believe that it is the right way to do it. And even if we spend a little more money up front and do it right the first time, it's the way to do it. Because the moment we have to go there for a second time, it costs more money. The tenant gets annoyed that we're there for the second time, and we don't want to charge you for the second time. So that's just the right thing to do. Wooden's mindset. A lot of you are probably familiar with John Wooden, the greatest basketball coach in the college history. And I like his philosophy that says, if you do everything in your power, there can't be any regrets. So, for example, if we play a basketball game and we do everything we can, we practice hard and we play hard and we do everything that we can, but the opponent has a better day, we can still lose, not win, but we can't have any regrets. So that's what I'm trying to tell my team: do everything in your power to succeed. Organization, we have implemented multiple processes that help us stay organized, and I'm going to show you an example of them later in the presentation. Being effective and efficient, take the extra step, be proactive, and change and constant progress is a part of our company. It's ingrained. The company where we were a year ago is completely different than where we are today. And we have high expectations of ourselves. So quality is the last overarching value. Integrity, care, and quality. Those are the three pillars that we're building the business on. So a little bit more. Our mission statement, who we are helping, that's all of you. This is a description of our client. We serve property owners and investors who seek management and expert advice, who want to keep their properties well maintained and profitable at the same time, and who trust us with achieving that goal. As I said, our specialty is in small multifamily and single-family properties in Portland and Corvallis areas. How we are helping you. That's also important to understand. We remove the stress, or most of the stress, from property ownership. We maximize your profit, and we create more time for you so you can enjoy and concentrate on the things that you actually like to do. So we take care of the day-to-day emergency occasional tasks that are all inevitably connected with every rental property. Our impact is that we are thriving to make a positive impact on all the communities that you serve by providing quality housing. We always do the right thing. We're ready to respond when needed, and we communicate clearly and timely. We also help you stay legally compliant in the current legal landscape that's changing quite frequently. And our goal is to elevate the reputation and bring prestige to the property management industry. We want to grow, protect, and fully utilize the potential of your real estate investments and become the most trusted and sought after property management company in Oregon. So that's an overview where we are, what we stand for, and where we are headed. So right now, the state of the companies, we manage about 300 units. We have an office in Corvallis, and in January 2023, we are going to be opening a physical office in Portland. We advertise our vacancies on 40 different websites. We have a software called Tenant Turner. So back to the advertising, it gives you and your properties a wide exposure to the whole internet. There's Zillow, Trulia, Hotpats, Zumper, Apartments.com. We use Craigslist sometimes. We try to be in as many places as possible. We have a self-scheduling software called Tenant Turner that allows prospective tenants to schedule tours 24/7 for the times when we want them to come. It doesn't mean that they will be able to come to your property 24 hours, 7 days a week, but they will be able to schedule a tour for a slot where we want them to come. We prefer open house style showings. That way it is efficient, but also it creates a sense of competition between the tenants, and therefore it drives applications. Somebody's over here. Now we improved the way how we answer the public. So we have now during business hours, we have a receptionist answering phones and returning phone calls that we miss. We have a 24/7 emergency maintenance line. If something goes wrong, so we are ready to respond 24/7, 365 days a year. We have a suite of software solutions that help us stay organized and efficient, and I'm going to show you them all later. We have going too quickly. Here we go. Okay. We have an extensive screening process, and I'm going to show it to you a little later too. All leasing is done online. We don't do any paper leasing. 90% of rent is collected electronically these days. Tenants have their own their tenant portals, and they can do a whole bunch of things there. They can request maintenance. They can upload their insurance information. They can pay their rent, of course. They see their lease agreements over there, their history of payments. So our software allows us for them to make it user friendly for them. One innovation that I'm excited about, I'm going to show you later today too, is 360-degree inspections, which is a huge step. We are not the first, definitely one of the first companies in Oregon who implemented this. We have an in-house maintenance team in Corvallis. We're capable of anything from small fixes up to remodels. And we do have transparency in accounting. So we have an open books policy. Anytime you want to know how we make your money or spend your money, feel free to schedule a meeting with me. I'll be happy to run you through all the accounting. We also started scanning all receipts and invoices and adding them to AppFolio. So they will be, or they have been, and we're getting better at it. So they'll be a part of your owner statements. So let's see if my computer cooperates. Okay, so we are members of significant professional organizations. So we're Better Business Bureau accredited, National Association of Residential Property Managers, Multifamily Northwest, Lynn Benton Rental Housing Associations. That's important because these associations have legal helpline. So in case there is a question about an unusual situation, we can call them, and they usually direct us put us in the right direction. So we don't need to hire a lawyer. That service is free to us, therefore free to you. We use, in terms of technology, we use AppFolio, which is national national leading property management software. We use Tenant Turner, that's the scheduling solution. We use Rentometer, which allows us to analyze the market and see what the rents should be. We use the Z Inspector, which is the 360 inspections, G Suite, Monday.com, and TalkRound. Okay, here is our team at the moment. So you know me, Lance Richards is our regional manager, has been with the company for about 8 years now. He spearheads the Corvallis operations. Tara Thiel is our executive assistant. She is mostly in charge of tenant communication. She also screens applicants and does the leasing. Dalia Perez, she is our office assistant. She answers phone calls. She places down, creates schedules, sets up utilities, and tasks of that sort. And then we have David Espinoza, Jason Johnson, and Jared Nunn. They're our maintenance techs, and Matt Benedict is our inspector. So the 3 or 4 biggest innovations I would like to share with you today: 360-degree inspections. So we have started using this technology a few months ago. We are now almost fully up to it, and we are in the time when we are starting to do annual inspections. So sooner or later, you will get a report from us and an email from Lance explaining how the inspection went, and what you can, what you can expect. And I'm going to show you how that inspection report is going to look a little down the road. Screening, we added an income verification step to our application process. We had been verifying income before, but there is a technology that allows the applicant to link their bank account to the application. We, of course, don't see their bank account, but the software is able to confirm the influx of money every month. It's able to verify employment from that information as well. So it is safe and secure. It is fast. It allows us to fill vacancies more quickly and more accurately. It significantly reduces the option for fraud. Vacancy killer program, we enhanced it, and I will show you the process that we go through for every unit turn, and also I will show you how we answer the phones. So 360-degree inspections. So here's an example of the report. Here's a 360-degree image. Let me share how such report's gonna look. So when you get it in your mailbox, this is how the report's gonna look. So it's at the top. It's gonna show which property we're gonna be talking about. This is gonna be your property. Then there is a condition summary. So anything that will need to be fixed, it's up in this section. And then we go through every part of the house and take an image. So virtually, we capture every square inch of your property. And there are all these things that we concentrate on. So for example, for entry, we look at the doorknobs, doorbells, baseboards, and flooring. Does the light work? Does the outlet work? What is the condition of the ceiling? And we go through every part of the house. We open the cabinets underneath each sink. We feel the trap to make sure that it's not leaking. We make sure that we have all the smoke detectors in place. But in every room, which I'm really, what I think is a game changer, we take a 360-degree image, which takes a lot of guesswork, out of potential damages. So before every tenancy starts, we take a 360-degree image, of all the rooms, and we do the same thing after the tenancy ends. So if the tenant moves out and there is a missing fridge, for example, and they're saying, Yeah, it was not a fridge before. We have a good proof now that, here it is. Same goes for condition of walls, condition of flooring. But it also allows us, to capture maintenance issues while they're small. So you're gonna start seeing these in your mailboxes very soon, if you have not yet. Here is this is what we see on our side. This is how we screen people. So on the left hand side, you see the standard screening summary that you get. We see the credit score of the people, potentially negative items. For example, show us if there are any accounts in collections. We see any landlord-tenant history cases, evictions. We see any criminal public records. We see if they are on sexual offender registry. And on the left-hand side, this is the tenant income report, which shows the employment. This person is hired by Biotronic Inc. They make $67,000 a year, and it is actually confirmed via their bank account that this employer sends them on a regular basis a paycheck. Communication phone. So this is how we see the interface. We record all the phones. We quality check them. We make sure that every phone call that comes to us that we are not able to answer is returned very quickly. Okay, I would like to show you a couple success stories that we did, for a maintenance team. So here is an apartment Albany that looked like this when the tenant moved out, and we remodeled it. We put in new flooring, we painted, we bought new appliances, installed new cabinets in the kitchen. We have a granite countertop now. So it's a significant improvement to the property, but also to the quality of life of the next tenant. This is a bedroom and bathroom of the same apartment. This is how it looks now. This is an apartment after a messy tenant moved out from Corvallis. Again, we painted, installed new flooring, got new appliances. The same apartment, we remodeled the bathroom, new flooring, painted. We are able to do these remodels quickly and efficiently, definitely below the below market prices for remodeling. Any success stories from property management perspective? We onboarded a 5-plex in Corvallis in June 2021, and those units were rented by room. Not all of them were rented fully. So from the total monthly income of $8,000, we were able to jump to almost $13,000 in September, a year later, increasing the profit by 56%. We worked with, or we still work with a property owner in Albany who bought a 32-unit complex. A whole bunch of money was invested. So the property got painted, new parking lot got poured. We remodeled 8 units, laundry, the grounds. We increased the quality of life of the people living there, but also increased the profit by 18% for the owner. 25-unit complex, again, bunch of remodels. But what I would like to point out over here, we implemented RUBS, which might be pertinent to some of you who have multifamily properties, but just a single meter. That allows us to split the bill for water between the units based on certain criteria, either people living in each unit or square footage of the property. And that way, you don't have to pay for the bill for water, for example, and the people are responsible for their own consumption. If you have any more questions, I'm happy to talk to you one-on-one about that. So now, what is the situation market? Some general observations. So lately, as all of you are aware, Fed has been raising interest rates. Therefore, interest rates for mortgages are skyrocketing. Less people are able to afford to buy their homes, which drives demand for rental housing. There was a strong demand, or there has been a strong demand for rentals. Also, on the other hand, less people are able to sell their properties. So if somebody buys a new home, typically before they would sell their previous home, but now the demand is weak, so they are turning them into rentals. But overall, the demand for rental housing is strong, and this is a great time to own a rental property. Prime season for people to move is roughly between June and September. That's when most of people move, and that's for where we schedule most of the tenancies. So unless it is an exception, if we onboard a property during this time, like November, December, January, when the market is typically not very, the best for people to move, we schedule the first vacancy to happen between June and September. Therefore, we offer, for example, 6 to 7 month lease with a potential extension for another year. So we set ourselves and you up for success going down the road. Another observation, about 40% of renters these days have pets. So in case you are considering allowing pets or not allowing pets, this is a business decision that you have to make for your property. If you don't allow pets, it's fine. We will work with you, but you cut yourself out. You cut about 40% of people looking for properties these days. If you do allow pets, we charge refundable pet deposit of $300 per animal, and we charge extra pet rent, $25 a month for every animal, which in our experience offsets the risk of allowing pets. Now, I get asked about emotional support animals and service animals. So this is a loophole that some people know about. If the tenant comes to us with appropriate paperwork saying that their animal is either emotional support animal or service animal, we cannot discriminate against those animals. They are not pets. They are, that's the special type of animal that helps the tenant. We cannot charge any extra rent or any extra deposits. The tenant is still responsible for any potential damages that the animal does. Just so you know, we cannot deny them. And last but not the least, you all know it, but I want to reiterate it one more time. Well-maintained properties attract good tenants. Poorly maintained properties with a lot of deferred maintenance attract problems. We steer away from them. It is super important to know, when prospective tenant shows up on site and they see that the property is well maintained, everything works, everything is in a good condition, you will get a tenant that also cares about the property. If tenant shows up on site and the gutter is falling off, the faucet is not working, the kitchen cabinets are falling apart, good tenant is not going to rent that property. You're going to get a tenant who does not care about it and therefore is going to treat it as such, and more problems stem usually from that situation. Now let's take a look at rents. So we have seen in Corvallis, I call it Corvallis Metro, this is probably not an official term. What I mean by that is Corvallis, Albany, Philomath, Monmouth, strong demand in the rental market. Houses, duplexes, townhouses, rents are up 12.75% on average versus the previous year. Apartments, condos up 14.4% versus 2021. This is an overall picture of the market. So, for example, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house that rented in 2021 for $2,400, these days it's going for almost $2,700. 5-bedroom, 2-bath house used to be $3,000, now it's on average $3,350. And these prices that you can see here, I will of course send you the video afterwards. In some places, or in a lot of cases, we are actually able to rent the properties at even higher price than the median is. Situation in Portland Metro. again, strong demand in rental market. In Portland, it's especially in the 3 and 4 bedroom single family residences. There is a no, the supply is not big enough for this segment. So the houses, duplexes, townhouses are up on average 15.5% in rents versus previous year. Apartments slightly above 10%. Now, in terms of rent increases, let me tell you how we operate. We are obligated by law to act in your best interest on your behalf to maximize your return on investment. Our philosophy is to keep the rents at your properties as close to market as possible. That in order not to drive existing tenants out, but also keep the value of your investment property, because in case you decide to sell it, the rental income is one of the critical criteria that determines the price of the property. But also we want to keep in mind your monthly cash flow and reserves for maintenance. Our process, how we evaluate properties and rents, starts 120 days before the tenancy is eligible for rent increase or renewal. So we look at the tenancy. Have they been good tenants? Have they been paying rent on time? We look at the property. We evaluate it. I will show you an example how we look at the rents from the data perspective. Give me 1 second. I will share the tab. So this is how our reports look. So, for example, for this property in Portland, the results, the data results are based on 22 very similar properties with 3 bedrooms and more than 1.5 bathrooms within the last 3 months in a 1.5 mile radius, right? So we see what the average is, what the median is, what do the least expensive properties rent for, what do the most expensive properties rent for. We see the trends, shows us the map where the properties are located. So this is the data point. It is art and science to set rents, but we always take a big part of it from the data. And back to this. So this is how we evaluate the property and how we should set the rent. But we also prepared the notices. We always offer month-to-month option and a fixed term extension option. It is important to understand why. Tenancy in Oregon doesn't end with fixed term rental agreement expiration. At the expiration of fixed term, unless any notices were served, it automatically turns into month-to-month. And we cannot make people sign extensions. So we give them 2 options, one for month-to-month, typically coming with the maximum rent increase because it comes with more risk for you, or fixed term, which typically comes with little rent increase, and motivates the people to stay and sign an extension. Thomas, I see that you have a question. Let me check if I can. So Tom is asking, before rents are set, do you go over the potential rent increases with us as the owners? That's a good question. Right now we don't. We evaluate it. We know the market. We know the tenants, and we set it in your best interest on your behalf. That's how we operate. It's just the way we do it. For capacity reasons, but we also believe we're doing the right thing on your behalf. Next, maximum rent increase in 2021, 2022, and 2023. So Senate Bill 608 that got implemented a few years ago defined maximum rent increase That's set by the Oregon government every year. It's calculated as 7% plus consumer price index for whatever that year is. So in 2021, the government determined that the inflation was 2.2%. So it was 7 plus 2.2, 9.2%. This year, the maximum increase is 9.9%. Or next year, it was set at 14.6%. So the inflation rate they calculated with was 7.6. Now, that is true for the state of Oregon. City of Portland has a special set of rules, as a lot of you know. And in Portland, any rent increase over 10% triggers mandatory renter relocation assistance. So if we raise the rent in Portland for more than 10%, the tenant has an option to say, that's too much for me, I'm moving out, I request my mandatory renter relocation assistance, which for studio or single room occupancy is $2,900. For a 3-bedroom or larger is $4,500. Now, I want to touch base on typical pricing. I get questions about what is the typical pricing. So 1 hour of handyman service in Corvallis these days in the market typically costs between $60 and $70. In Portland, somewhere between $65 and $85. Deep cleaning, smaller apartments, depending on the cleanliness level, is between $200 and $400. Houses run between $400 and $900. This is important to understand that this is not your typical routine house cleaning that happens on every 2 or 3 week basis in your house. This is a deep cleaning where appliances are deeply cleaned and sparkling after this is done. They're moved so there is no dust underneath them. Windows are cleaned on the inside. Fans and light fixtures are cleaned. Carpet cleaning costs between $60 and $80 a room. Typically, again, unless we are onboarding you, this is a tenant expense. Drain cleaning, if drain gets clogged, it costs between $125 and $400. Now, COVID-19 protection and trends. So all temporary protections expired on September 30th, 2022. So the fact that if people don't pay rent these days, the fact that they applied for any government assistance now does not protect them from being evicted for non-payment of rent. 10-day notices don't exist anymore. We went back to 72-hour notices for non-payment of rent. Based on our experience, we have not seen any significant uptick of evictions based on non-payment of rent. So we are conducting business as usual pre-pandemic. Now there are, some more extensive renter protection and eviction moratoria promoted by some candidates on the current ballot. So I just want to bring it to your attention. City of Eugene has moved about 2 to 3 weeks ago more towards the approach that Portland is taking with the significant renter protections. It is up to you to decide what you want to do, but I just want you to be aware that it is on the ballot. Now, renters' choice instead of security deposit is a trend that we see nationally. With people, a lot of Americans don't have $400 that would be spare in case there was an unexpected expense for their household. Therefore, a lot of states are moving towards renter's choice, and Oregon is very likely going to follow in the next couple of years. What that means that people will not have to pay security deposit. They will have a choice of purchasing something like an insurance policy. We've had couple companies reach out to us so we could offer this insurance policy. What it basically does is that the tenant pays $20, $30, $40, $50 premium every month for this policy that covers any damages up to a certain amount. For example, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, which acts as a security deposit. The benefits of that are that the tenant doesn't have to come up with additional 1 month rent up in their move-in. They have to pay this $30, $40, $50 every month, which is easier on them. The downside is they're not going to get the money back. It's a premium of an insurance. The upside for the owners of the property is that they are covered by more usually than the 1 month rent. The downside of this, what I see as a downside, is that with the security deposits, you get a tenant who usually is able to manage their money better. So for now, we have stayed with our current policy of requiring security deposit as a condition of move-in and rental agreement with us. But I just want to let you know that sometime in the future, it is likely that the legislation is going to move in this direction. So how to get in touch with us? If you have any urgent questions, please call us 503-436-3300. I can be reached at option 1. Non-urgent matters, you can send me an email. We're typically pretty quick to respond, or set up a one-on-one meeting with me. calendar.com/Stefan Rank. If you have any specific questions to your property, I will be happy to answer them during the week of 11/14 on a one-on-one call, or you can email me afterwards. I will be out for most of the week next week. Now, are there any general questions that would make sense for everybody to hear? Amy, I see that you raised a hand.
Yeah, hello? Can
Hello.
you hear me?
Yes, I can. We can.
I was wondering if you vacuum out fridges when the tenants move out, like the bottoms of the fridges, because it extends the life.
Yes. So all the appliances are clean. So we have a specific cleaning checklist for our cleaners, which specifies that all the insides have to be wiped, the fridges have to be moved, vacuumed, and the back, some fridges have that wire grid that's vacuumed as well. Brad Jackman.
Good morning. Thank you for the call. When we offer the incentive to the tenant to sign a longer lease, we benefit from the not having to pay the turnover costs. Can you remind me what the value of that turnover cost is?
It depends. So what we try to do in that process, as I said, we cannot make people sign an extension. So we offer them, you either sign at a better rate, which is still close to market, or the month-to-month comes with the maximum rent increase allowed by law, because it carries more risk. And sometimes it's even above the market. So we motivate them. Now, what is the value of the turnover? It depends. It depends. We give the unit to the new renter in a condition that is clean, carpets are cleaned, and we are expecting to receive the unit in the same condition, minus reasonable wear and tear. So if the unit is not clean, we're going to clean it, we're going to charge the tenant. Carpets, we always charge for carpet cleaning to the tenants. So in case there are no fixes to be done, and you just need to clean, there is virtually no expense to you. In case we need to repaint, we need to change the carpets, we need to remodel the bathroom, we will be in touch with that cost, and then you will have to approve it before we proceed with the work.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Let me see. There's a queue. I think Alan Nelson is next.
Yeah, it's Jody.
Hi, Jody.
Hi. Just curious about if a tenant would opt in for the insurance policy rather than the security deposit, then doesn't pay their monthly bill to the insurance, then where does that leave us?
Well, that's a good question. In that case, we would start the eviction process for non-payment of rent, and after the tenant would be evicted, then there is an amount of money that they owe. Theoretically, based on what I understand, is we would submit a claim to the insurance company, who says that they would pay us within a few days for all the amounts owed. This is a new product. Multiple companies are offering it, are trying to get into the market because the shift in the nation is just going that way. So I am sure there is still things to figure out. I will keep looking into it, just so we are informed, but this is how I understand it.
Thank you.
Carl.
Yeah. So can you hear me? Good.
Yes, we can.
All right. So I thought the refrigerator question was really, really good, because the issue is getting stuff off the coils.
Yep.
Most of the time the coils are on that screen on the back, but not always. So I think you answered the question partially.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that, assure me that when they do that cleaning of the back, that if the coils are someplace other than in that screen, that they go after them with a coil brush.
It's we specify vacuuming it out in our cleaning checklist. That's what has worked for us. That's what a part of our cleaning checklist. I can share it with you. That allows us to send it to all the cleaners, the cleaner partners that we use, and they're able to do it. To be honest, coil brush is probably something we don't use on a regular basis.
Okay. I bought one because it was recommended to me by an appliance.
Okay.
So anyway, thank you.
Let me make a note of the coil brush. I will look into it, and we assume this is something that's not crazily expensive, but we may want to make it a part
it's not.
of
You only need one
equipment. Thank you for that. Are there any other questions? Jennifer.
So, Stefan, I have to ask this question because affordable housing is difficult in this town, in Corvallis. I feel that, yes, I understand that you need to protect our investment and it has to be sustainable financially, but I also feel an obligation to have a well-maintained property that is affordable for people who don't have a huge amount of money. And I'm not sure that I want to renovate to make it a really high-end property to earn more money. And so I'm just curious, how do you make a decision about balancing the profitability versus an owner's desire to provide housing that is somewhat affordable for those who don't have a lot of money?
Yeah, that's a question. That's a great question. Like we not all the properties that we manage are high end. In fact, majority are not. Majority of properties that we manage are B2C, and like they are not. But what I was trying to say is that they need to be in good working order. Stuff needs to work there. Stuff needs to be maintained over there. We don't need to have a brand new sparkling quartz countertops, but they should be in good working order, whatever the material they are made from. Ultimately, you make the decision about the investment of the property, because any expense perceivably under $300, we go ahead and take care of. So if there is a leaky toilet, for example, we will not let it leak. We're going to go ahead and take care of it. If the expense is perceivably over $300, we'll call you and ask you for approval. So if you if you decide that you don't want to replace those cabinets, that's fine. Now, in terms of, this is a specific question to your property, but at your property, the rent is still very affordable, comparing to the rest of the market and where the rest of the market stands. And I think that we're in a good spot over there. What we have seen in past with couple other clients that we onboarded, and I can connect you with them to share their experiences. When we try to keep the rent artificially below market, it is a generalization, but it attracts problems. It is not good because it attracts problems that way. Does that answer your question?
Partially. We can talk, one-on-one about our specific situation, but it really is a fundamental kind of moral issue as a landlord. We don't want to be ripping people off or pricing people out of the market if we don't have to. I mean, I'm completely on board with maintaining property, but I'm facing a kind of moral dilemma here.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, you are not ripping people off. You're a moral person. We are going to talk about it in one-on-one. You're also, it is important to say this, you are not a bad person because you own an investment property. You are not. You worked hard all your life to be able to have that. You provide housing at affordable rate to people. There is nothing wrong about that. And I appreciate that you are thinking about it in a way where you want to provide quality housing at an affordable rate. At the same time, I believe you should not be losing money on it. I believe there is nothing wrong in making some money to supplement your income. But thank you for voicing that, and we can talk about it one-on-one. Okay. Edie Pie. I forgot who.
Yeah,
who
it's Judith. Hi.
Hi, Judith.
Yeah. Question about also on the same thread about the cleaning. Do you also clean the dryer, the coils in the dryer?
So what we usually do is we make sure the lint catcher is clean. We regularly remind the tenants to clean the lint catcher, but the coils that's on the inside of the machine, that's not a part of our standard cleaning checklist.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I will make a note, and I will look
Yeah,
into
or sometimes there's a vent like on the outside. I know of our property in particular.
Yeah.
Sometimes that could be cleaned to
Yeah.
help with maintenance.
Yeah. I'm making a note, and I will look into that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I see Carol has one more question. Okay, so let's take it. And
Yeah,
then I don't
back
know.
to that vent issue she just raised. So one of the things that has to be attended at least occasionally or every other year or something is to make sure that vent doesn't have the exit vent that leaves the dwelling. It doesn't have lint accumulations because it becomes a fire issue. I mean, I clean our own, but the house that I had a lint fire in it prior to my purchase of it. I know these things are realistic.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
Electric,
referring to.
and it was an
Yep.
electric dryer of all things, and yet it wasn't even a gas dryer, and yet there was a fire in that vent line. So just a question.
Okay.
I mean, and for my units, I'll be glad to take care of it myself. So
Understood. I'm making a note of it.
Thanks.
I'm understanding is that you're talking about the vent where the hot air exits the building.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Over there. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna make it a part of our preventative maintenance plan.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Last question. I see Frank Rodriguez has it. Frank.
Yes, yes. Hey, Stefan. Good morning,
Hey.
everyone. I think I just want to follow up on the concern around affordability in the city of Corvallis, because I think where it mostly lies upon is that there are like generational families who've lived in Corvallis from early on, and good people. However, I can understand the dilemma of not wanting to price out, raise the rents to the point where, heaven forbid, Californians like myself would move up there, and just kind of disrupt the overall, for lack of a better term, the vibe of Corvallis, because they are very honest, hardworking people, and I can understand wanting to maintain a certain um, market, a certain market available to those who have good intentions. Don't have no intentions of doing anything that's kind of unlawful or anything like that. But to what I understand, and I'm far from a CPA, is that there are avenues from a tax perspective that does make it beneficial for investors who want to go the route of affordability, below market housing. I don't know what those are, those specifics, but I'm sure the information's out there. That was all.
Okay. Yes, I think there are some new construction affordable housing that come with some special provisions that the landlords have to stick to. Honestly, I'm not an expert in this field. We have a number of Section 8 recipients. To that point, I just want to say, if people have troubles paying rent, we work with them. We point them to the right direction. There are numerous organizations. For example, in Corvallis, it's CSC. They offer rent assistance programs to almost anyone who walks in their door, and we have seen a lot of success stories. It is a balance. It's not black and white. For that reason, I talked about the values of our company at the beginning of this meeting, which is integrity, care, and quality. And that's how we look. That's the lens, we use to look through at all the problems that are not, cut and dry in the business that we do. That's why we have them. We try to do the right thing every single time, keeping everybody in mind. And it's, not everybody's always going to be happy with our decision. And that's life. That's okay. We have to accept it. But that's how we try to roll. Well, anyway, thank you for all your questions. Thank you for attending this meeting. We truly appreciate every single one of you. We appreciate your business and your trust in us. If you have any more questions for us, please either email me or set up a meeting with me. I'll be looking forward to seeing you and talking to you. And have a great day. Have a good Friday and enjoy the weekend. And we will see you again, hopefully soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Stefan.
you.
Thank you, Stefan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
you.
Thank you so much, Stefan.
Thank you.